Good morning, listeners, and welcome to yet another podcast series brought to you by Legis Syndica. Today, we're discussing the Supreme Court of India's reportable judgment, Jyostnasmayee Mishra versus the state of Odisha. This deep dive takes us into, well, a really fascinating legal battle. It touches on some fundamental principles, fairness, equality, and proper procedures in government jobs.
Absolutely. It's a case that really gets to the heart of how public service recruitment should work. We're looking at 2025 INSC 87, decided just this January, and it poses three sort of core questions. Can an employee demand promotion to a post that's actually only meant for direct recruitment?
Right, and can a government department just skip public ads and use, say, internal memos instead?
Exactly. And the third one is really interesting. Do past mistakes, like maybe wrongful promotions, justify repeating them now just to be equal?
We'll unpack the Supreme Court's answers. They're pretty definitive and crucial for understanding public employment law. So let's start with the story. It's about the petitioner, Jyostnasmayee Mishra. Her journey with the state of Odisha began way back in 1978.
Yeah, 1978. She started as a peon.
And then fast forward quite a bit to 1999. She applied for a different role as a tracer.
That's right. And that request in January 99 really kicked off a very long legal process. When she first made a representation, it eventually led her to the Orissa Administrative Tribunal.
Oh, no, 628C of 1999. That was the first case file.
Correct. And the tribunal initially just directed the state to, consider her request. Standard procedure, really.
But the state's reply came back in July 99, and it was, well, pretty clear-cut.
They said the tracer post was strictly for direct recruitment, no promotions allowed into that specific role.
And that really set the stage, didn't it? The core conflict was right there from the start.
Absolutely. But she persisted. She argued discrimination in later applications, which took her back to the tribunal.
Right. The case got renumbered OA 742 of 2009. And what happened then?
Well, this time, in September 2010, the tribunal actually ordered the state to consider her and other Class II employees like her for promotion to tracer if vacancies came up later. A bit of a shift there.
Okay, so maybe a glimmer of hope, but then another rejection.
Yes, in November 2010. This time, the reason given was a recruitment ban from the finance department, a government-wide freeze.
But she didn't stop. She filed again. OA 1696 of 2010. This is quite the saga.
It really is. And this third time, January 2016, the tribunal went much further. It actually ordered her appointment as a tracer.
Ordered it? Wow.
And even said if there wasn't an empty spot, the last person promoted should be, demoted to make room for her.
That's quite an order. I can imagine the state wasn't happy.
Not at all. They filed a review petition with the tribunal, which was dismissed in February 2017. Then they took it up to the Orissa High Court.
With a writ petition, WPNO 18463 of 2017.
Correct. The state argued she was simply ineligible based on a 1980 Works Department letter, likely outlining the rules.
But the High Court, they didn't rule on the merits of that.
No, interestingly, they disposed of the petition, basically, because she'd already retired and received her retirement benefits as a peon. They sort of sidestepped the core issue of eligibility for the tracer post.
So she felt the fundamental question wasn't answered, and that's why she ended up at the Supreme Court.
Exactly. After that long journey, feeling aggrieved, she brought her case to the highest court.
Okay, let's unpack the legal principles then. The Supreme Court had these three key questions stemming from Mrs. Mishra's case. And these are critical, really, for how government bodies should operate fairly. So question 1, can an employee claim promotion to a post that's strictly for direct recruitment? What did the court say?
Unequivocally, no. The Supreme Court ruled that allowing someone to seek promotion into a role meant only for direct hires goes against the law and, fair selection principles. In this case, the Orissa Subordinate Architectural Service Rules from 1979, specifically Rule 5.1, stated tracer posts were only for direct recruitment.
So the rulebook itself didn't allow for internal promotion to tracer.
Precisely. Rule 6, which actually governed promotions within that service, specifically excluded tracer positions. It couldn't be clearer.
The rules were the rules.
Right. And the court emphasized that these legislative rules trump any, administrative habits or past practices. Allowing claims like hers would violate Article 16 of the Constitution, equal opportunity in public employment.
And it's interesting because she didn't qualify for direct recruitment either, right? And the rules blocked promotion.
Exactly. So deviating from those clear rules undermines transparency and fairness for everyone else who might want to apply directly. Her claim for promotion, given the rules, was deemed meritless.
Okay, second question. Can government departments fill these direct recruitment posts using just internal circulars instead of advertising publicly? What about transparency?
Another firm no from the court. They held that filling direct recruitment spots through internal circulars, bypassing public ads, goes against both the Constitution and the specific statutory rules. Rule 7 of those same 1979 Orissa rules clearly mandates public advertisements in the media and the official Orissa Gazette before holding a competitive test for direct recruitment.
So it's not optional, it's a mandatory step.
Absolutely mandatory. The court stressed that fair, transparent selection is key to ensuring Article 16's promise of equal opportunity. They even cited an older case, UPSC versus Girish Jayanti Lal Vagela from 2006, reaffirming that appointments must come through an open selection process.
You can see the problem with internal circulars, can't you? It basically limits the pool.
Right. It excludes potentially qualified people from the general public who just aren't already inside the department. That makes the process arbitrary and, frankly, unconstitutional. The court's conclusion was stark. Any appointments made without following the public ad requirement are illegal. Government jobs can't be filled in secret or based on who you know. Merit has to be the foundation.
Okay, now for the third question. This is where it gets really interesting, I think. Miss Jost pointed out that 2 other peons had been wrongly promoted to tracer in the past. So she argued, under Article 14, the right to equality, she should get the same treatment. If they got it wrongly, she should too.
Yeah, this touches on a concept called negative equality. It's a common argument. If it happened for them, why not for me? But the Supreme Court was very clear. The Constitution does not recognize negative equality. Just because an illegality was committed for one person doesn't give anyone else a right to demand the same illegal act be repeated for them.
So basically, 2 wrongs don't make a right. One mistake doesn't justify making another one.
Precisely. You can't claim equality and illegality. The court cited precedents like R. Mizukumar versus Tangid Co. and Basawaj versus Special Land Acquisition Officer to hammer this home. Article 14 is about ensuring just and lawful treatment for everyone, not about replicating past errors.
That makes sense. Otherwise, how could a system ever correct itself if every mistake became a binding precedent for future mistakes?
Exactly. Allowing such claims would essentially punish departments for following the rules later on. It undermines good governance and merit-based hiring completely. Since the 1979, rules didn't allow promotion to tracer. Giving her relief based on those past wrong promotions would just compound the illegality. So that claim based on past mistakes was also dismissed. Wrong precedents can't create rights.
So after all that, what's the bottom line? The Supreme Court looked at everything, the long history, the rules, the arguments, and ultimately dismissed Jyostnasmayee Mishra's appeal. It drew clear lines. No demanding promotion to direct recruitment posts, no using internal circulars instead of public ads for those posts, and absolutely no claiming negative equality based on past mistakes.
It's really a strong reinforcement of the bedrock principles for public jobs. Be transparent, be fair, and stick strictly to the recruitment rules. This ensures government positions go to people based on merit and the proper procedures, giving everyone an equal shot, rather than relying on workarounds or perpetuating errors.
And for you, our listener, this deep dive really underscores the court's commitment to the integrity of public service. It shows that while an individual's situation and long service are, of course, important factors to consider, the rule of law and established procedures have to win out in the end. That's what keeps the system fair and equitable for everyone.
It has to. Otherwise, the whole structure could unravel.
You know, this case does make you think, doesn't it, about the ripple effects when even small deviations from the rules are allowed to stand over time. It raises that difficult question. Where exactly do we draw the line between showing compassion for one person's long struggle and the absolute need to protect the integrity of the law for everyone else now and in the future? A tough balance. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates on key Indian Supreme Court's decisions.